As far as charts go, we have not been looking at many great ones today. It feels like that's just the course of action. It's going to be very close to down 10%, but all I see is a flat bottom break through 13. It's already broken that double or triple bottom, depending on how you want to look at it. We're already at $12, so you're a little bit of ways away from anything up at the 13 level. I think I want to be looking to short pops into that, but like this would have to go big time to the upside. And it's so tight to the 10% down that I don't know if it's going to be a short right at the open, only because of that SSR. So we'll let this one play itself out in the open range, and then maybe work over to it. And we're gonna end with the chip, which is good because we got a few chip names to talk about, but not a good look for AL. The airlines, in a general sense, I'm not a huge fan of them and never really have been in the long term. That said, they are good trading vehicles when they get going. This is now giving it back up. I wouldn't be surprised if you retested the November lows from last year on American Airlines.
All right. Yeah, look, it's in the watch list there. Neil just went over some levels there. I don't really trade the airlines, but I feel like down that 10%, you're going to get that SSR bounce. You've broken well below. We talked about that Jets ETF if you wanted to sort of pick up all 5 of them. All the 5 major airlines there, sprinkle in some Air Canada. But yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to get down to a level, and if you like it, it's about now. So I feel like if you're going to DCA something, it is right in and around now. But airlines are a very, very tough business, and I would just suggest, unless you know what you're doing here, it's tough to pick individual names, which is why I always sort of say this ETF here that, again, has moves and is down into the dumps as well. So if you're going to just sort of say, hey, I want to get something, and we talked yesterday, there's not too many names that are back to where they started at the beginning of the year. Well, this is getting pretty close right now. So if you can get some support down at the 200 period moving average, get United Airlines, American Airlines, Southwest, Delta, all of them wrapped up into Jets ETF. So JETS, Jets. That ETF right now, yeah, to the downside. You think, remember what I told you, Jets versus Bills, AFC East. I think that the Jets might be favored to win that. I'm going to double check that. I know it sounds ridiculous, but will Aaron Rodgers last more than 4 snaps?
Well, I mean, that's an easy yes.
He's also, they have the worst opening week of all time, I believe. He opens up in San Francisco. So he's going to have Bosa. Like, this guy might be done after game 1 again. So we'll see what happens. But no, I hope. You know what? The NFL would be wicked awesome if, and all sports, but more specifically the NFL, every year there's major dudes that get hurt. Like Burrow, like especially the quarterbacks, and then you get major injuries to running backs, and we know that because of fantasy. Yeah. But it takes away from the fun. It does hurt a little bit of the sport because you go there looking to see people. It's like you get season tickets, and it's like, yes, Joe Burrow's my QB, that's my dog, and the next thing you know, whatever his name is going, and they're like, I don't even know who the Packers' backup quarterback is. That's pretty bad. I should actually look that up.
I have no idea.
I should look.
But nobody wanted to see Zach Wilson last year on the Jets. Nobody wanted to see the guy Cincinnati's Browning, or he actually played well. But like that's at the end of the day, you wanna beat the best. And like when you're playing, like I want to watch the best, but like I'm sure they all want to go up against and play against best, which is weird that they want to add more games to the schedule to make more of this. Another reason why the streamers are going to get spicy in the next little bit because they're all battling for that.
But apparently, if your mom hangs around the stadium as well, you don't want to see Zach Wilson either. So, okay. So by the way, NVIDIA. No, I'm not. I like the 49ers. I think that they're going to have one more run for sure. They got to get Debo and all that figured out, right? NVIDIA just touched 130. So the reason why I bring that up is that there's that 1125 level. We're going to get to NVIDIA right now. So let's go over to the desk and talk about it. But NVIDIA is dancing here in the pre-market.
Yeah, it was all about semiconductors yesterday to kick off the week here. Downside a little bit, 0.5% for NVIDIA this morning. I mean, there's nothing monstrous or major to note. This was kind of interesting. Upgrading their packaging of one specific chip, GB200 at Taiwan Semi, to speed up the process because they can't keep up with just an unbelievable amount of demand. So, I mean, they're reinvesting back into the manufacturing side as well.
Well, yeah, we kind of knew about that. We knew that there was a ridiculous amount of demand for the H100. It's probably going to be an equal amount of demand for the Blackwells as it really cuts down inference time. That's where it's getting complicated, guys. The training aspect of the large language model is getting a little bit easier. The inference still a bit more complicated. There's another headline, though. Arista Networks looking to collaborate with NVIDIA to build out their data centers. So ANET, A-N-E-T, on watch.
All-time highs yesterday, as we mentioned, back downside here ever so slightly so far, guys.
Yeah, the key pivot price, I guess you would call it, was a 1125 top in the morning that offered support twice in the afternoon, late morning and then the afternoon as well. So I think that's your line. If you hold 1125, I think NVIDIA has a chance to get back into the green side. If it's underneath that price, I think it's a bit of a fade zone. We're trading, like ARM was the breakout for me yesterday through the one.
I chose Wix
level.
for
Okay,
my
so
business because of its
at least
massive scope for
all right,
functionality
like what
and
happened this day. It held the 120, it eventually got to like 124 and a half. But let's go over to the 15, which is on the daily. Feeling 120 is a pretty key level. I think if ARM can hold on to that 120 on a dip, you can see the consolidation break. It's still in a bullish pattern. What doesn't look as good potentially is that AMD. Like AMD has now twice rejected $173, once fantastically. Today it's now so far away. Like when I sat down, it was like 170, and I thought, okay, even a modest pop, you get a lower high in a previous close, 171.5, 172. You're shorting it after this 173 break. Now it's about finding a way, if this is going to be now 2.5% to the downside, weaker than the overall market, weaker than everything else in the chip space. It's one I would want to be short underneath that 172. But it's starting to drift away from that price. So I do want to favor the short side on this. It's too tight to 165 to want to short the lows. I'll look at pre-market high 170 on any kind of a pop here in advanced micro devices. I just feel like if the market's going to be weak, the last time this rejected 173, we saw it in the 50s by the end of the day. And it rejected it yesterday. So I could see it getting back there. Maybe not in one shot, but certainly the pullback somewhat warranted here if the market's going to give some up here on AMD.
Yeah, look, I on the sticky note here today, you guys can go find it. It's at Trader TV, Sean. I put it up every single day. Today I have AMD. So I have Amazon and AMD and Alibaba's on there. Palantir's on there as well. Go see some of the levels. But I love that AMD level at 170. I feel like there is a pullback opportunity. But now we're just like, again, when we write this, like 8 o'clock, you see, when we're going on air, we're writing stuff. Like, we've really had to move down, so we might have to watch out for VWAP. So definitely on our mind is AMD. But let's just talk about NVIDIA because that's what's on here. So the imbalances just came out. Remember, the NASDAQ imbalances come out at 9:25. So there's everybody's favorite. Oh, Palantir coming out as a sell. All right. There's NVIDIA with a buy. So nice little move back up to the upside there for NVIDIA. Palantir now leading the way with a sell. All right, so not much else going on right now, but there's FFIE right here, 84, 83 cents dancing around. But let's just go back to NVIDIA and talk about that because we got 5 minutes. So look, if the market ever wants to bounce back today, which it's going to, like at some point, NVIDIA's not even down. Like that's a flat open, minus 0.2. I mean, the NASDAQ is almost down 1% right now. So talk about like what's leading the NASDAQ. I mean, it's going to be NVIDIA. It already is. Like if this name was down 1 or 2%, then you'd see the NASDAQ probably down that 2% itself, right? It's going to drag a lot of names with it in sympathy, but it's not actually even going down. So you got to play relative strength. So for me, I do not want to stand here and take 125, but I definitely want to watch to see what happens around 125. And if we can do base like this, then I feel like that's okay. This is 5 or so minutes of a base. Give me those bottom wicks that we can play off of. So I'm not looking short this name. And even if we zoom back in, I probably shouldn't have zoomed out there. Even if we zoom back in, even early on, you see, this is only 1 minute. That's hard. You're going to have to believe the sell-off is over to catch that. I'm not even trying to do that. This is also a sell-off to the 50. So that could be something, sell-offs back to 50 period. But that this is the trade that I should have, right here. Base, bump. So what does it matter if I catch the bottom down here on 100 shares, or you have more confidence when you see something like this and you put on 200 or 300 shares? Because sure, you don't get the dramatic move, but you make it up with more shares and more confidence because you have an out. So that's the one thing. I've always found myself losing a lot of money, or at least my worst trades, not necessarily losing a lot of money, but my worst trades are when I'm like, uh-oh, it's coming down. This looks like a good level. Still looks pretty good. Still, it's not good. You know, and then we wind up pushing out when your pain tolerance is at the max, and that's generally where it tries to bounce. So I'm just gonna try to play this. You know, they say keep it simple, stupid. I think we just solved it right there. Wait for a base and go after it when you see it. This is my long idea today, even though it's not, I still like Palantir at 20. I don't love the long here. It's a $2 spread. Let's let NVIDIA open up. I much prefer to short AMD up there at 170. These are all pretty confident plays. They just need to land in our lap. So what's up, Sharif?
What up?
Futures, Sean. We're talking about futures trading all week. Obi and Adara kicked you guys off yesterday with the introductory lesson. Today we'll get more nuance. We'll talk about support and resistance trading on the futures contract. Catch that with Adara and I on How to Trade at 11.
There we go, futures trading.
We're already in position.
Just a couple of things. I said on BITF I was going to be on the bid of that one, so I am on the bid of BITF. They rejected the offer from Riot, but it was support at 210. It was a $2.30 offer from Riot, which they've rejected. So I'm going to be looking for longs. It doesn't mean the stock has to go higher, but if there is a bidding war, I'm going to favor the long side of the trade on BITF. Tesla was the other one we didn't get a chance to get to. Look, if we get back up to 178 or 180, either one of those two levels, I'm going to like them both for shorts. 180 was the one we wanted yesterday. 178 is where it bounced from, or sorry, bounced down to on Tesla. So on any pop looking to fade, Tesla still looking relatively weak, down 1.5% into a, I mean, I was going to say into a flat market, but it's not. It's a 1% down market, but worse than the overall market. The imbalances weren't much of anything, but if you look at it, as Sean had mentioned, like FFI was there. AMC is a small sell. Palantir is a small sell. Faraday, if it gets back to $1, they're trying to close it above $1. So that level is going to be back
shit,
into
it's only
play
30
here.
seconds.
With only 30 seconds to go, I don't have any levels
Get
on
out of here, Bear.
Faraday.
Thank
I
you,
want to
Randy.
play that one by ear. Going to try and find some levels as the day develops outside of the $1 on Faraday, down 30% after their numbers were a shocking disappointment,
Wah, wah.
I suppose. Although I don't think people were that surprised. So some concern there for them. Let's get this hump day market
Market is
started
open.
in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
All right, here we go. So we're in, and we're ready to go. So, okay. We're in Amazon. So
HOLO.
Amazon right here. We'll take that short. Again, we were looking at this up at 182, 182.50. Look what Amazon's doing while the market is downside, down 0.8.
DKS.
Amazon rips up to 182, so we'll say thank you, come again on this one. Put a little bit more shares on here just to see. We have that 183. Like I said,
Holy
we're
Chewy.
Chewy's going ham upside. All right, you want to go over, or you're watching it?
I just got into
call it up.
Amazon. as well.
BNAI.
Chewy just
We got
got to
120 at 20.
Are you kidding me? So forget about the dip buy and Chewy. at
AMD's
least
coming back
temporarily,
up.
As that's good. That's nasty. Got to 1980. So
SOXL.
the dip buy might have to get adjusted on that bad boy. AMD starting to head to the upside.
AWIN.
Amazon already is.
Amazon
I liked
BOX.
it off 182 quarters.
SMLR.
We're looking 170 on AMD, and if it breaks through that, we get out and we look for 173. Tesla,
NNE.
no bounce to the upside on Tesla, and just very quickly,
SMLR.
NVIDIA bouncing instantly off of 1130. So that 1125 and 1100, we're just going to have to wait around for patiently.
BNAI.
Not much happening over there in a firm. And then FFIE.
MNMD.
It made a bit of a run to the
BOX.
upside, but still a bit of a 2-cent
PANW.
spread every now and then. So watch out
PDD.
for FFIE. Looking for it to challenge $1, and if it fails $1, I'm looking to fade.
SMLR.
All right, so we just did what we always, not what we always do, but we're trying to get shares on a stock that we like. So we're into Amazon right now, and it
FFIE.
just went into the money for us about a dime. We didn't, it's in the money now a dime. We're trying to take 20. So hopefully it can come back into that 180, 150 area.
FSLR.
See like how crazy this is off the open. Liquidity is not the greatest. Like we were just at 181.60 and I didn't get filled. I was at
MNMD.
61 thinking we're getting filled, and
CRM.
now it's Rip City here
BOX.
on Amazon and on the
PDD.
market. So watch out as the market's coming right back up. We put in our note, we
GVH.
have to watch out for 18.8. So
ONMD.
here's that 50 level right now on Amazon coming into play. Hot.
FFIE.
So watch out now. We'll put some bids down there into the teens again, but there's that level that we liked on Amazon. It just came in pretty aggressively
ONMD.
for an upside trade here. And again, I'm just trying to focus on one of these fills until they all start pumping in right now. It's Amazon. We had an
CRM.
upside target. I mean, there's
MNMD.
already at the 200 period. That's like a
PDD.
trend changer for me.
DKS.
So 182.50, 182.60. I mean, we'd hate to be in this for the long run and just get stopped out so early. But we are starting to get upside now into 183. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, it
on
took
Amazon.
out
LOT.
once it got through 182.5. Like that's my out, so it's broken through
INSM.
it. Maybe there's a 184. If we come to the chart very quickly, it has to get back underneath to signal me back in. Otherwise, we'll just have to be a one and done. At least for now on Amazon. Just also
SYTA.
quickly, FFIE. I said I would make an adjustment and play this thing
ONMD.
by ear. There was no pump higher, but look at this. It's now held 3 times, including pre-market
PDD.
at 77 cents.
YINN.
So if it bounces one more time off that, I think this is going to have a chance for a breakout into $1.
LOT.
Maybe like a 90 break. But if it loses 77, I think that's going
CCCS.
to be a short. AMD, we're not
APP.
getting 170. It doesn't look like there was a 60-cent spike at the open and then right back down in. So this looks like it's going to be relatively weak on AMD. Going to have to work our way into it somewhere else. 77 looks like it could be breaking on
ONMD.
FFIE. Watch out here.
70 cents. Okay. I thought
Well, it's
those that up to
77 is a bit of a level.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was up to 80 cents there. when we
INSM.
ran it there. Okay, for right now. So, hey, look, Amazon did come back down, but not for very long, and we got some out there at 30. But you know, you can see where we're short here. It's not a great level as we're trying to break higher and higher and higher right now through 183. So
Meanwhile, AMD
let's be careful on that one. AMD's going the other
UBER.
way. So again, we had that short written down, but we don't have it. Here's AMD right now. We should have. Remember we were
ONMD.
talking about maybe shorting that into VWAP. Well, that did come into play there.
PANW.
168 and change. Too bad for that trade
INSM.
because that was the short, and we even mentioned
LUCY.
168.50. So that really does suck because there we go to the downside right now. Lucy's moving around
BHBN.
as well. But my focus is really just on Amazon now.
SOXS.
I'm going to take another piece out here in the 40s if we can. Just trying to get a little bit out
UBER.
here because it hasn't been moving the way we had thought it would. So we'll take a small hit here if we can. Get out of
ONMD.
10%, or sorry, 5%. And now we'll wait to see if, darn it, I wish it was 10%. Now let's see if it comes back in here. If this market collapses, we could be into something.
PANW.
The other play was Alibaba. That's
DUO.
what? Alibaba's literally not moving, so that could be something to watch out for after
LUCY.
And then Tesla was a downside note on our watch list, but I
INSM.
didn't look at it short. And this one's also ripping up to 176 there. So a couple names doing a little different
BOX.
things here today than I expected.
Yeah, and FFIE being short sell restricted means you
DKS.
can't hit the bid. So I'm gonna
UBER.
have to get
You
picked
can't
up on the
win.
way. You can't hit the bid to go short unless there is an uptick, so you have to get picked up on the offer, which I'm trying to do underneath 77. It's only so far that I want to chase this down, but
LUCWAQ
fills are at a
halted.
premium to the south side.
BWAQ will
on
resume at 9
FFIE
hours and
here.
40
So it
minutes.
broke that
GME.
support at
Gyre halted.
77.
DELL.
I'm on the offer
GYRE will
trying to
resume
get
at 9
picked up,
hours
but it's
39
not
minutes and
letting
38
me
seconds.
in at all.
GB
That's
halted.
nasty. Amazon
GB
back
will resume at
underneath.
9
So
hours
there's your
39
wick
minutes
top
and 8
view.
seconds.
Sometimes you get on the front end.
CHWY.
Other times you want to be getting in on the back end. Oh, I just got a FFIE at 75. Okay, so you wait around, you got an uptick, and I got 75s. That 77 was a key break level, but should not have been on this until we waited for the back end of the trade. It's now made a double top in front of 183, so then calming down and shorting it off that level is
SMR.
going to make some sense. NVIDIA
FSLR.
heading into the downside. It just bounced off 1124.
LUCY.
So still a bit of a downward
BOX.
trend here on NVIDIA.
GME.
I still want to
ONMD.
pick up that AMD on the south side, but I'm not punching low of the day on AMD. We're going to have to short pops on AMD, it looks like. Adara?
QE not
UBER.
stopping right now here on this 3-minute chart. We've been opening for these two
SMTC.
bars, really strong volume here, up
CVNA.
about 20%.
GILD.
After its earnings, they also did announce that they've approved
BHBN.
a 500 or up
DKNG.
to $500 million
AWIN.
buyback
MNST.
program. So up to $5 million in buybacks in addition to strong earnings here from
LUCY.
CHWY here, guys.
BOX.
What a rocket. that was.
HIMS.
That was a good trade. All right, here we come. Oh, come on, Amazon. Do your damn
CHWY.
thing, homie. All right, we're just short right here, right now. We're finally bidding some 15s, and it stops at 16. This is the best. All right, so 182.20. Like sometimes you can't even script these things. All right, let's get to the downs. Okay, come on. Fill those 15s up there, Amazon. You can do it. You can do it. Or not.
SMLR.
Again.
NVAX.
As what?
NABL.
Okay.
BHVN. BOX.
Chicken dinner.
DQ.
All right, let's see if this chicken can turn into actual chicken right now, because it's just a lump of coal right now. We need this to go to the downside. Like if this gets bad, so everything we've taken out right now, we're positive on the stock as this move comes back in, but it's all unrealized because we don't have any bids out right now. So let's put something out. Bang, there it is. We stay with the trade, and that's what we've talked about, man.
HIMS.
This is exactly the move
DKS.
that we're looking for here
NVAX.
in Amazon. It just happened a little late.
NABL.
So we took out some on the upside in case we were wrong, but there it goes up. And it's just funny that what we wrote down here, 182.50 to 183 as the high for Amazon. Do you know what the high is? How about right in the middle of that? Like now we're picking middle ranges. So far so good there for
ONFO.
Amazon. As we just
SYTA.
covered some under 182
VSTM.
there. So that was a good
DKNG.
trade to go through. But Nvidia is really
ASTS.
getting tripped up right now. And we said we were not going to wait at
DKS.
11.25, even though we like that level. It's a good thing we didn't, because it just cut through that thing like butter, baby. And now you're waiting for some downside moves. We said we would wait for it to develop a range for Nvidia. It's done the opposite of that. It's just going straight to the downside right now. Really no bids. I mean, I guess 25 could have worked, now that I look at it, but you did wait below
DKNG.
122. So depending on where you're at,
GV
was
may resume
right
in less
there.
than a minute.
Nvidia getting cleaned up a little bit to the
INSM.
downside. Money coming out of the name here, it looks like today.
ONFO.
Yeah, unfortunately for
ONMD.
NVIDIA, I just took some, look, we got in on the
ASTS.
front end and it was bad on Amazon. It wicked the high. It got back underneath the resistance level, so we shorted underneath that resistance level. Just got some out there at 180, 190 on that last little dip, and then got back in, reloading it around that
LUCY.
188.5 zone. for
JKS.
Amazon. But it's still a trend up stock.
NVAX.
So you got to watch out for
LIDR.
that. If this market
GYC may
bounce
resume in less than a
kind
minute.
of getting here
DELL.
is going to do any good
INSM.
for AMD. It just bounced off 185, so 165. That's a double bottom from yesterday. So AMD's found a bid for the second time off exactly the same
LCID.
level. But I just reloaded Amazon there. And then one more for you,
ASTS.
Tesla.
BWAQ
Tesla
may
is
resume in
absolutely
less than a
just
minute.
skyrocketed up to that 178 level. Massive shot to the upside. Why am I not hearing anything in my ear? I don't know if that guy's on.
JKS.
But anyways,
No, I'm not.
big
He's
move into
hot.
178 on Tesla.
LIDR.
That is the first zone of
DELL.
resistance for me. Yesterday's
INSM.
highs, 178.30
NVAX.
on TSLA.
SYTA.
All right, I will punch. Oops, sorry, that's still Nvidia. Yeah, so we reloaded up there. We've been getting
LCID.
some out on the downside now for Amazon, but still, it's already shown its colors. It can get below 182. It's tried to do that, but I agree with Neil, though it does seem like it's a
RIOT.
little bit stronger for sure
SGD.
than I had thought. As my number one
ASTS.
trade idea, I was expecting it to go a little bit faster than this to the downside, but it'll still be a big trade for us here, hopefully on Amazon,
DELL.
as it pulls back in. And like I said, we're net up on the stock, but we're holding the profits. So it's like all the outs we've taken are just
DKS.
kind of getting out of these early positions, which we should have never been in. So right now we'll
LCID.
hold it back into the downside here for Amazon and see if we can get it. The other name that we looked at
ASTSW.
as well was GameStop, and I
DJT.
wrote down 21 to 20 to 21.
SYTA.
It only went down to 21.
ASTS.
80, so not a huge move. GameStop actually recovering quite nicely off that open, so was down to 21.80. I think we were down 8 or 9% when Brendo and Sharif were talking about it earlier. But here we go. So anyways, that's not near there. I'm getting excited now because here comes Amazon. Here
DKS.
comes 82
Amazon
right there. So 182, we'll take out that one, hit the sirens for it. It's going to be a big stock, but it has to move. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't, and I'm stuck. So 183 is the out. So right now we're playing 50 cent, 50
SYTA.
cent, right? And so that's it. We'll take some out here at 182, but try to hold for that bigger move, because if we're right, we want to be right. What's up, A?
Small cap on watch here, ASTS. This is AST Space Mobile. This one has moved in the past. Bit of a larger
INSM.
one, about
DQ.
$1.3 billion market
DKS.
cap, short float of just over
DJT.
12%. Right now, running on after announcing this partnership with Verizon, a strategic partnership here, which involves a $100 million commitment from Verizon. So nice look here for ASTS, guys.
And apparently Dell still doing some power move things as well. We'll get to that in a quick second. So that 178 on Tesla, incoming very, very quickly. Here's afternoon support, 178, 176.80. Really? I was just on the bid at 77s there. I think that's a distinction without a difference. We'll try to get some A's if we can. I'm expecting a potential bounce zone off of this at 177, so I don't want this traveling too far, but we got that
JKS.
turn just in time on Tesla at that 178 when it came in there. That's where we wanted it. I'm ignoring
178?
VWAP. Yeah, it got right to the
Nice.
178 level. I'm just going to take it out here. The market, it made a big bounce. But if you look at what actually happened
IPW.
here, we got right up to
LUCY.
overnight resistance and not even close to it, and then
DKS.
faded off. So Tesla
ASTS.
relatively strong. So we play the pullback 178 back into 177. I'm just going to take it and run. If you look at where the shorts have been going, where we like the short pops, not falling like we like to see. Like two stocks that I like the short pops on, one of them in an upward channel still, that's Amazon, and also Tesla as well. Here comes AMD 165 a second time through. I think this time it breaks it to the downside.
NVAX.
So, I don't have a stop order in. Let me
Oh,
just get a
Amazon.
stop order in on AMD. 165 is where it bounced yesterday. Cancel my offer at 170. If we get
LUCY.
170, well, if we
DKS.
get 170, we probably
GB.
don't like it at that point. We'd have to play that one
MGOL.
right here. So it just broke.
NCI.
I just got 99. Gonna give it to the
CRNC.
quarters on Advanced Micro Devices.
I like that trade. We'll hit sirens up. We have a new trade alert. And by the way, we're so
CHWY.
short Apple. But by the way, right now, this Amazon is making them sing right here because this is a nice move back into the downside right now for AMZN. We talked about the futures falling down, and honestly, guys,
HIMS.
that's another one because this is exactly, we did this
DKS.
yesterday, or I think it was yesterday where we were holding on to Apple. We were talking about it. We were trying to justify why we were only looking at Apple
ASTS.
or whatever the play was. And this is why. I mean, this is, it was our idea to short this name. We shorted it, and now it's pay dirt. So yeah, man, we have to like what we're doing right now. Hold on, my mouse just keeps on flipping back over here. All right, let's go over to Adara as there's Amazon. We just got that
BOX.
bid at 61, did we? Yes, we did. So look at that, Phil. All the way where we started, roller coaster ride, Adara. What's up?
SMFL.
GYR, you may resume INS in a minute.
APL, the information
CHWY.
releasing this report here on Apple apparently planning to use its custom chips for some confidential computing techniques. So basically what this means is that with its AI conference coming up, so people are concerned about how it will
ASTS.
integrate AI in Siri without violating customer privacy. Well, basically what they're going to be doing is conducting this
In
AI in
less
a
than a
virtual
minute.
black box. This has to do with its previously reported ACDC or Apple
FLNC.
chips and data centers project, which will basically allow it to,
CHWY.
through confidential computing measures, keep customers' privacy safe while doing
INSM.
AI. So
Inks
just
halted.
interesting note here. with regards to
INXBV
Apple
will
ahead of
resume
that
at 9
developer
hours
conference
48
in
minutes and
Japan.
35 seconds. GV halted.
Through the gates
GV will
of
resume at
hell,
9 hours,
AMD
48
is
minutes
down
and 17
4%,
seconds.
Nvidia's down 2.5%. The market is really starting to come back in. Amazon just went red.
ASTS.
You just heard that news on Apple. I'll double check on Tesla in a second. So 165, yesterday's bottom broke on AMD. Was able to get 99s there. Wow, that benzing is too loud. I gotta turn that down.
CHWY.
So 164 and a half,
DJT.
first level, we take some out. I think you can see 162 and a quarter. That's this level in here. Amazon, for me, is still gonna be a red stock because we got in on the front end at a bad price. It needs to get back down into 181. Still holding a bit of a bull flag there on Amazon. And then going back to Tesla, we got out because it looked strong, but we took the buck and ran. It's continuing to head into the downside, which does bring me back to the stock I said I would not forget if the market turned weak. Firm 29, just rejected 29 even by like 5 cents. If it gets into VWAP, I want to look to short pop and just get into position. I said if the
BOX.
market's weak in any sense that I want to short this name.
ASTS.
So as the market's bouncing here, if we roll over at VWAP, I'm getting into AF.
SYTA.
All right. So
ZIM.
I just got out of Apple. So because
CHWY.
we got out for flat. So we were
DKS.
short, actually, literally for flat, actually. Yeah. Fees all in all were down 88 cents. So I guess we must
ASTSW.
have just added liquidity both
CRNC.
times, and then paid for it on the execution fee or something. But nice move to the upside there
ASTS.
for Apple on that news. When Adara brings news like that, I kind of run for the hills a little bit.
I didn't hear.
No, it was nothing. It was just they're developing it's just more AI news. They're
SYTA.
developing their own chips. So that to me,
CHWY.
I wasn't sure about going long because again, remember I'm playing sort of the part of bear today, I guess, thinking that we're going to be a little
Gyre
bearish.
halted.
But this is starting to
GYR
get
will
going
resume
here.
in
So
0
there
seconds.
goes Apple. Thankfully, it's saved a little bit here. We didn't
BOX.
have Apple written down on here today. We did have it yesterday. We liked it better. And this news maybe changes
ASTS.
things a little bit here for Apple. Now getting going. I mean, market down 0.7, Apple up 0.7. That almost never happens. So this is a great thing for Apple. Play dips for sure. Let's let this news
CHWY.
hit. Nice move to the upside, obviously lifting the market here higher and higher. So it looks like Amazon and a
HKIT.
couple good outs. we
LOTWW.
got out $1 ago. Remember, I was just like, oh wow, there's 61 on the other side. And yeah, within 3 minutes, remember we
NXT.
said that the liquidity is pretty dried up. So we get out at 181.60. Then 3 minutes later, we're shorting 40s. 4 minutes later, we're shorting $1 higher. So
DJT.
right now we're short at 47s, and we'll see if we can get something out in the 30s, as this name is very, there it is, very, very aggressive. There we go, we'll take some bids. So there it goes. We'll take a dime right now, looking for lower, of course. There it goes into the low 30s. We'll take that fill as well. So Amazon, hey, maybe this will be the trade that we're hoping it
GV
could
may
be
resume
here
in less than a minute.
today, as that short filled us up again, and there it goes. So now, Neil, I know you're in you're in way more positions than I am. but the
CHWY.
market's
It's only
given-
3. I don't know why it's scrolling like it's more than that.
Oh, that's why. 'cause It
PDD.
just keeps going. So I was like,
Oh.
how many shares?
Yeah,
But they're all A's. We're the A team today.
INXBV may resume in
Amazon,
less than a
Affirm,
minute.
AMD, Apple.
All right,
all
let's,
GSIW.
what else we got that starts with a name? It's literally just those stocks.
Abercrombie, ANF. Neil, get in ANF immediately.
You don't want
punch
to short.
long.
DKS.
You don't want to short ANF.
Right, just punch long. Do it. Hurry up.
ANF, you want to be going in the other direction. Look, ANF is up 14%
OMA.
right now. No chance. I'm not shorting the stock.
CHWY.
You could turn from here and drop $5. You're not going to see me. It's an absolute runaway
PDD.
freight train. This is the best. I mean, it's the best stock that nobody talks about enough. That's the only way to think about it. It's an absolute rocket ship. ANF's a home run, all of that good stuff. Firm was the first position. Non-AMD and Amazon. We just shorted off VWAP. It just tagged 28.5. We have 75. Amazon was a reload, and that continues to test higher. I'm trying to get something underneath VWAP in here. If it makes another high, we just got to jump out of it. And AMD's on trail time now.
CHWY.
It's a dump city.
DJT.
I have a 163
UAL.
bid that. Yeah, no, my plan was to take it 65 to 63. I'm going to take the
FTEL.
163 out.
AGVA.
This one's still heading to the downside. I know Lucy's making some moves, but what I just saw in chip space is at that 63 level, you've already made a bounce in
SWIN.
NVIDIA.
We're
So I'm
short
going to trail
Alibaba.
this to the quarters here on AMD as we're going to Dara, I think I heard.
Yep.
Another earnings name here to the
CHWY.
upside. DKS going to be
CYTK.
Dick's Sporting Goods beating estimates across the board and actually raising their full year or their fiscal year 2024 guidance across the board. So nice look here for DKS up about 16%, guys.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's appropriate. I mean, it's summer attire there. You know, you're wearing got the golf shirt on there. You pity some fools around there. I like that one. All right, new position right there. Hit the like and the subscribe. Make sure you do that immediately, by the way, or else Neil will come after you. All right, there it is.
DKS.
Alibaba. We got a new position, but it's
VMEO.
not like we just keep
JMIA.
trying to get filled here. We're short at
BOX.
03, and I'm not getting any love down there. I'm bidding 95.
DJT.
It's bounced off of that a couple times. We're trying to take a dime or so on it. Let's watch
GYRE
out
may
for
resume in
Alibaba.
less than a minute.
We're at the 200 period. It's down 2%. For me, this is actually exactly the kind of trade that I'm looking for here. A stock that's underneath. We have Alibaba written down here. Like if this breaks, first of all, if this breaks 70, now the market's going above 18.8. So things are starting to change now as far as the market is concerned. But let's not get it too twisted. I'm still trying to get the short, and we just got loaded up now on on Amazon because
LUCY.
that's at our 83 level. So we're
DJT.
trying to put a trade on here. We have one on, and it is Amazon. To the upside right now. Watch out for 183 break,
IMVT.
and we're out of this. The Nasdaq is Neil's really
It's
going.
right
Like
now
Nvidia's
flying.
flying as well. So,
CVNA.
so we're gonna get stopped out of Amazon.
We're back at the highs
PASG.
on the NASDAQ.
Damn it.
No, it didn't break evens, did it? No, it did not. Amazon didn't break
No, but it's going to.
Yeah, it's probably going to. Technically speaking, I should get back into it because it didn't break the evens. It went to 98. But I
DJT.
got out when I saw that big move up in NVIDIA off 1110 of AMD. It bounced off 163. We trailed it. So we'll take that one out. Affirm is, still think Affirm is going to be a
I buy
reload.
Amazon.
But with the
IOVA.
market taking out highs, I'm going to let this travel into 29,
DELL.
confirm that it's going to be weak under 29, and then reload the short. right? Like enough of the, if it's trending to the upside like this, which is a higher low into a flat top, at least get a better price, wait for a turn, and then jump back into a firm. I still think it's a weak stock. I still think NVIDIA,
DJT.
I still think
PDD.
AMD is a weak stock, so if we pop back into 65, we'll look to reshort that name. Chewy is an absolute runaway freight train, so we didn't get any, look, we didn't get a dip buy in Chewy into 18. I mean, obviously you guys can see that. $20 is around where VWAP is, so if there's a trend to join, I think a bounce somewhere off of 20 might make some sense. 21% up is Chewy. So ANF and Chewy, rocket chips, but the market also showing a lot
BOX.
of strength.
Yeah, they're showing. I just heard in the year about DJT deliberation, so watch out for that.
Oh, yeah.
We can check that out again. So again, we did get blasted up there to 83, so we did get taken out for the L there on Amazon. We got out, we got back in
PDD.
because 183 seemed to have held. But that's the one thing I got to do better on. It's like I'm stopping out at like the maximum levels. Like if I'm writing down 183, I need to be able to give it a
AAP.
little bit more.
DKS.
And I just need to do that. So starting out, once the market's open now, it's 10 o'clock. So you gotta be careful about, retracements. Like we say how resilient this market is, and I wrote down 18.8, sorry, would have been a level. So we should have been a little more cautious about some of these shorts when we started to break higher right there. But I still
JMIA.
feel that we could have some decent levels here. Alibaba, see ya.
Everybody talks about the
it's gonna be a
S&P
fail. That's an
500.
L. So we're
Here are
not
5
gonna
facts
be like,
every
"Oh my
investor
God, we should
should."
have held it," because we shouldn't have. Alibaba is really aggressive now, back up to the upside. So just be careful if you're going to short this name. I feel now we'll be a little more responsible and wait for the level that we wrote down of $80.
PDD.
But I like the fact that it came right up to that 200 period. If the market does fall down there, maybe we do have something. Today, we do have economic numbers coming out, as you can see right here on our watch list and tweeted out right here. Fed Richmond Composite Index looking at
IMVT.
-7 right here. So we're going to watch out for that at 10 o'clock. We had some consumer confidence numbers recently, or yesterday's number was Michigan, or I forget what it was yesterday, but
JMIA.
CD?
PDD.
Oh, okay. CB Consumer Confidence. Thank you, Adara, for that one. Yeah. So that was a little bit better than
BOX.
expected. So we'll see if that can rally the market. I mean, I feel that better consumer, stronger
DELL.
numbers means the Fed is more likely to
You'd
not
think so.
raise rates or lower rates. So we don't necessarily like that, but yeah, that is what it is. All right, some good outs there on Amazon again. It went into the 50s and then just got bought right back up. So this name is just so strong as the market's trying to stick near highs at
JMIA.
18.50.
Yeah, I'm still in a firm at my price now 82s, but if that, like I said, if it gets through 29.05 is a high, so like anything above that, and we're jumping out of it. Robinhood just held VWAP here and looks like it's in the midst of a breakout. Obviously, the 21 break is one thing. We never dipped down into 20 even. It got to 20 and a quarter. But with the market starting to break back out, if we
DELL.
consolidate off VWAP, I'm going to look long VWAP on Robinhood. We do like it to the long side. Chewy, I don't know if there's going to be a solid path into that stock. It's just, you might have to wait for that to calm down, like lunch or in the first, like 10:30, something like that. AMD, I thought we'd get 165s again in this market bounce. Gonna give it some time as the market's really strong and
PDD.
going hammer to the upside. I don't want to be just picking a random level. It's 65 we like, that was double bottom. We're gonna wait for it to get there and then jump into the short. So we're just in a firm. I do like the notion of Robinhood joining this trend. I just want to see it hold VWAP. You're starting to see that now, so we'll maybe nibble in above the 60s
SOXL.
here. Give it to under VWAP at 50. So I want to risk to $20.50, room to 21 even, where it might be an ad. I'm not necessarily
JMIA.
there if the futures are at spots that
PDD.
they're turning around. I might not want to be adding to this at 21 even, but Robinhood catching a bit of a bid here off of VWAP.
MMV.
Yeah, I like that Robinhood. And we were talking about not going long there off the open,
Oh, yeah.
but I think it's good now. I mean, that's what you're waiting for.
Oh,
something
just
different.
one more thing.
BOX.
It's not just Abercrombie. Dick's Sporting Goods
Yes.
is on the Blue Chew up 15%. Enough said.
Yeah, that was a good one there. Yeah, look,
I was going to say that earlier.
yeah, Adara brought that. I mean, some of
AAP.
these retail names are starting to get real heated up here. And unfortunately, the one that we chose to go short was Amazon. So right now, we will see where Amazon's going. We're still shorted.
DJT.
We just shorted again at 183. We put another short on. It did go down into 50s and 60 land. We just covered some more at 70s or 80s. Or I do have some more bids to cover 74s. There it is. We just got that fill. Okay, that was nice. Let's put another bid down there. Take advantage of this move down. Although I still like the short up here. This is the level that we wrote down, 183. So let's try to see if we can hold it. I do have a new position that's in the building right now. It's Uber against this level.
Oh.
Again, just a nice move up for Uber. We talked about this with TTG yesterday and Mike Edward. I
DJT.
like the short here. Just looking at where we are. I mean, that high, I'll just respect it. If we break 90s, then we'll get out. But like that looks pretty good to me off of yesterday, especially on the market move higher. Let's short Uber right now, but this is working out for us.
BOX.
Amazon, and put another bid just to get some out here. We've been wrong on it, but if we could sort of patch up the wound a little bit with some of these back end shorts, then we will do that. What's up, A?
We have Kintara Therapeutics on watch here, KTRA.
MNRO.
This one initially moved a little bit yesterday on some speculation that a Florida congresswoman made a $100,000, $250,000 convertible promissory note investment in this Tuhara Biosciences company, which Kintara is looking to merge with. So KTRA moving on report of a potential investment in the company it's looking to merge with. Nice look here for KTRA, up about 24%.
Yeah, good look there. I just realized I haven't even double checked. I'm on the bid of that BTF. Oh, Bitfarm is also dual listed, so that just came up in Toronto, which is not where I want to trade it. So it's actually holding higher. I'm just going to cancel 16s. I think the range looks pretty good above yesterday's top. So if it's going to do this, I might as well just sit on the bid at the 20s, give it to 220. I'm just making an adjustment on this name. If it's a scalp trade, it's a scalp trade. I really don't mind doing that, but I want to buy dips in it if we get a chance. AMD, it's not fair, but you know, it just went to 164, like I think 89, and I was waiting at 95 and did not get to fill back into 65. So lower high starting to get put in on Advanced Micro Devices. I might just move it into the 80s if it gets up there again. Give it to that 185 level, sorry, 165 level. If it gets to 185, we're in some serious trouble on AMD. And one more for you guys. Look, you know what's going on in all of those upward moving names that report earnings. Kava could go SSR. It's down 9%.
Really?
Yeah, it's down 9%. I'm not saying it's going to go down 10%, but if it does, this would be a potential SSR bounce play. So watching for another like dollar move to the downside. If that happens, I'll look for a retrace to an even dollar on Kava. Not everything that reported is good today. This one getting punked a little bit.
That's too bad. I mean, I do like Kava. I've never been into
AAP.
that name. And that was another name, yeah, that we talked about with Mike. He really likes that. We don't have any Kava here, but the Mediterranean CMG, Chipotle is how he described it. So, all right, we'll ring the register a little bit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What's going on with Uber? Not much. We're short here, 73. We just covered 53. So we'll take 20 cents there on Uber and be pretty happy about it. So let's just wait to see what happens now with this move. I'm bidding more at 63.50. Maybe we can get something out.
Ayo.
We just got a 50 take here. I'm going to put another bid here at whatever, 57, 58. We'll just take that, Phil. We're 40 cents in the money on Amazon, where my stop is just above the high of the day, so 183.10. So it's 10 cents worth of risk, but we've already lost on this. We talked about that where we weren't very pleased with how we wound up trading that. But we did get punched out there at 183 and got right back in. So we do have that red mark on the account there for Amazon. But, you know, this move is making it feel a little bit better as we come back in. Richmond Manufacturing Index, let's go to it there.
CLSK.
Richmond Manufacturing Index for May coming in a little bit higher than expected. 0 versus the previous of -7, consensus of -2, and forecast of -6. Also higher than expected here are the Richmond Manufacturing Shipments Index and Richmond Fed Services Index. Manufacturing Shipments Index 13 versus -9 expected. Services Index 3 versus -12 expected. So these are all pretty positive here.
MARA.
SPY acting continuing on its upward move a little bit here, but all of these numbers here for Richmond Fed coming in higher than expected. We do have quite a few names on watch today, including some earnings plays.
RNAZ.
Abercrombie and Fitch continuing its upward trajectory here, up about 17% on an earnings beat across the board, continuing its strong performance in 2024. We also have Chewy here on watch, CHWY. This one did beat earnings expectations and announced a share buyback program of up to $500 million. So nice look here for some of these earnings, retail earnings, guys.
I mean, the retail earnings are the story today.
right, Uber.
The market's
BE.
strong, but they're all insane. We thought maybe Chewy would give you 20s on a dip in here to VWAP. It goes to 2020. You're right back at the highs
MARA.
already. I got to watch out for
RIOT.
Firm, which is catching some of this wave. I mean, if Amazon's blowing it out today and all the retail names are strong, I reloaded at 90s here, and it's
CHWY.
probably going to take out the top. Do not want to be fighting this one.
FLNC.
Trend good, but like
CLSK.
everything else, it's stair step up. You
AAP.
just made another
RUM.
higher low at VWAP at
PLCE.
2880. So again, do not want to be fighting this. Robinhood's the only thing that I am long off of VWAP here. Have an offer in front of 80s. I'm going to have an offer in front of
SAGE.
21. Still
CORZ.
undecided as to
BE.
whether or not this is an ad through 21 even on Robinhood. The market is pretty strong. It looks pretty solid. When it gets up there, if the market still looks strong, I'll probably jump back into this one.
JKS.
Adding back on a long. AMD holding down 4%. Still at 164 and a half. We haven't found our way
CHWY.
back into a reload off of VWAP.
PLCE.
As this is continuing to trend down. I mean, AMD is certainly a weak
Oh,
name that we can dig into.
Yeah, we knew that. Well, I mean, again, it's like we write down the price targets. Like we wrote down 170 on AMD. It gets to
ARM too.
168, 169. It's like, you know,
ARM's also weak.
this has been happening to us. Like we like the 160 long. It goes down to 160. It's up $9. It's like sometimes you just got to step in there and say, you know what, price doesn't matter with some of these names, especially like
CRNC.
AMD, because if you just catch the right direction, sometimes like what's going to matter, like. Do you think Neil or I care if we were short right now 166 or 165.50? I mean, at the end of the day, it's continuously bleeding.
AAP.
If it's falling, it's falling.
That's what I mean. So like a name like this, we've seen it happen. Look at the trend here. Does it matter? I'm not even looking at what prices these are. You just got to get long. You know, the day before that, does it really matter? No, we called 160. Yesterday we called 166. It goes down to 165. Does it matter? You know, so right here today, we like the short, and you could see wherever you took it. You're waiting for 170. I mean, take 160. Anyways, you guys can see the story. But here we go right now. Let's go. We got another one on right here, and that's going to be Uber. So let's just
PLCE.
talk about the good trades.
AAP.
We only have 3 trades today. Baba. Oh, yeah, the Apple trade I'm not going to count. Actually, I'm going to get back into that probably. These 2 trades. Uber right there. Good level. We think we found it. We just got short again. We'll offer this. If this comes down, we really do like that. The reason why I said Apple doesn't really count is because we were short. I like that short 191, but then we got out for flat, if not a little bit of a, I think you said we made 88 cents there. But then it paid 88 cents. And then it goes up to 192 on that AI news. So we're going to
PLCE.
change the script on that one and not trade it, right? Because again, if you are waiting for a move to happen and then news comes out possibly contrary to your belief, then you got to kind of flip it up and go that other way. So we'll wait there for Apple and see what happens. Possibly a nice play to the downside for AAPL.
Yeah, no play to the
JKS.
downside on Chewy. It's another high of the day. Hasn't broken $21 yet, but it feels like it's just a matter of time. Maybe the next dip is going to be the only one. So it's pulling back in off a double top. This could be the only chance to get in on the next available dip. Here comes to the upside, however, AMD. So that's been trending in the right direction if you're looking shorts. Another push to
BNAI.
165. I think we have a chance to get into that bad boy. Wow, it's unbelievable. But like Tesla, I just saw this chart. If Tesla gets to 178, we'll look short again. But Tesla just bounced with this
CHWY.
wick at 175.
CRNC.
Like 175 even. It goes down 15 cents underneath.
AGEN.
That is like a golden reversal. Too late now. If it gets to 178, that's going to be the next trade. We wait for our key price level. We got it once, only took a
ONMD.
buck. At that point, the market looked strong, and Tesla looked like a name that was holding up and about to make another leg higher. So we wait for the 168 level, 178 level on Tesla. Is what it is. But that's a big miss at that 175. Look at the wick at 174, 10 cents under, ramp at the open, 175, 15 cents under, and then another ramp job. If it does the same thing at 176, I mean, it's probably worth trying it as it bounces into here. It's VWAP as well.
So, I mean, it's kind of funny because
SOPH.
it's 10:05 right now. The market's not doing a whole heck of
CHWY.
a lot, and it's like we're taking profit, but still trying to hold on for bigger moves. And it's just like right now there isn't too many bigger moves happening. Uber's a nice trade. I feel like it's a nice short up here, but we almost got taken out again right there. So I don't know. We're still trying to be as patient as we can with these, and we've gotten some out, and we're trying to wait for it. And that's the story of my Amazon as well. So let's look somewhere else. What about DraftKings? I mean, DraftKings yesterday, again, had that sort of negative news about the tax situation there in the
DOGZ.
state of Illinois. That's probably wrong.
It was Illinois.
it? Okay.
100, 99.9%.
Chi-town. We should have asked Frank about
C-
that.
CHWY.
The downtown.
That's right. Okay, so either way, I feel like there's some more
CORZ.
negativity coming for DraftKings. I don't think it changes a whole heck of a lot, but it definitely does change sort of the opinion, I guess, on the street of the stock. If the
SOPH.
customers are going to have to pay more
PDD.
tax simply by using their product,
BRLT.
that's going to be a problem. You know, I don't think it's, I already said this, I don't think it's necessarily, as a gambler myself and things like that, I don't gamble in that huge amounts where that would
RUN.
really matter, of course. But, you know, you got to be careful with income as a, you know, gambling as an income versus.
You got to work for Shohei.
PRPL.
and you'll be able to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
SHLS.
Oh, it's probably Shohei's fault. I mean, he was probably using DraftKings.
OKLO.
But he wasn't gambling.
Right, of course not. So right
CORZ.
there, what were we thinking there? But anyways, DraftKings a nice downside move there. But now the market's trying to go back up. So Amazon, by the way, just took out 183. So we did pretty good. Like, again, 2 minutes ago, we were getting filled in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and then we just got taken out to the upside. So let's stop shorting Amazon right now. Done well, but got taken out both times. So we don't need to be in that trade. We're going to hold on for that. I do like DraftKings short, just got to pop up a little bit. And Uber's still working, but just 10
CHWY.
cents in the money.
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing. Same two for me. We
BNAI.
haven't gotten
Apple's probably
anything yet at 165.
RUN.
AMD doesn't seem like it wants to come in. NVIDIA is bouncing, so I do expect
IREN.
it's getting above VWAP, holding that 1125 could come into play. But if we roll back under VWAP, I might have to just jump in here in the consolidation of AMD. Instead of getting anchored to the notion of 165 in VWAP, if we're going to curl here, I might short it off the 164.5. Goods at the
SOPH.
money. Affirm's out of the money by 5 cents, but it's not doing crazy things just yet. I do feel like if the market rolls from here, Affirm should be a good
SOPH.
short. We've been saying that for a
BHBN.
while. So I'm going to go with the half on AMD, just a little bit of an adjustment, as it doesn't seem to want to break into the
BNAI.
highs of the day. Where did Tesla get to?
It only got to 176.50.
Oh.
Oh, I just tried to short that. I just put an
CORZ.
offer at 25s.
For those watching, DJT broke 50, went to 52. It's pulling back now.
SOPH.
Still on the run to the upside. Deliberations, I think you already mentioned, were going on with DJT. It is a ramp job to the upside, but no crazier than Chewy, which fundamentally speaking, I mean, these guys
CHWY.
reported out a quarter. I feel much more
BHBN.
comfortable buying dips in Chewy than I would DJT, but that's just me.
All right. 120.
Get down, Affirm.
Oh, man.
Affirm's
JKS.
forgotten that it's a firm at this moment. That's the problem. See, now if they remembered they were a firm, then we'd be down at like 28.5. And then we'd be absolutely chilling at this moment. Dix is a strong stock as well. And then I'm looking at AAL. It's down 15%. And if it gets to $11 even,
shit,
I
what
might look
AAP.
for an SSR bounce on this stock as well. So Kava is getting it, Kava is not having a good day. It just wicked shy of going short sell restricted, so it didn't quite get there. It got very, very
we don't wanna
close
be long
and
in
already bounced. So I think that one's going to be out of the window, looking for an SSR bounce in Kava. But AAL at the even dollar could come into play.
SHLS.
Robinhood's starting to bounce a little bit. I'm only in two positions. I want it breaking 75s, and then first out of
BHBN.
80, then one in front of the 21 level as well. So those are the two we're in. Tesla's weak under VWAP. What's Apple doing? I haven't traded Apple. 193, I think, is the big level.
AEON.
Executed.
193 on Apple would be the short. It's at 190, 170. So just got to be patient.
All right. So I'm stupid me. I made a keystroke there on NVIDIA. So I wound up punching in and then punching out immediately, which is like obviously not the trade that we're trying to do there. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong stock. There's NVIDIA. Okay, so yeah, we punched in and out. I'm actually going to cancel my Tesla trade so I can watch out for NVIDIA just a little bit more. So now we're short NVIDIA right into this level. So we do not need to get punched out of this, but here it goes, upside for NVIDIA. Again, put some bids out there if you're looking to get some fills, because other than that, man, I mean, this stock is very, very whippy. Needless to say, if you don't have your fills out there, it's like 1 minute you're in the money 30 cents, the next minute you're out the money $3. So be careful with what exactly is happening here with NVIDIA. Trying to bid a little bit lower here. Maybe it will come back. We're just short 125.16 right now. Let's see if we can hold out for it. We did, like I said, I did mess around a little bit there with couple too many shares, or wrong prices, sorry, nothing wrong with the shares. But for right now, we're gonna hold out. Oh, there it goes, it just broke. So see what I'm saying? And now I got overfilled, so now I'll get out of that one. So just back and forth there with NVIDIA at these levels. I'm trying to, maybe I should go to NVDL because see, it's not really breaking this high, yet I'm running out of a little bit of patience because the spread is so big. So we do have to be a little careful with what we're doing here on NVIDIA. It's trying to take out VWAP again and trying to go a little bit higher as the market just bounced.
Yeah, this is a good bounce.
Yeah, we said we were maybe going to look at relative strength in NVIDIA, so I'm not really sure why we were looking to short it there, but again, underneath VWAP and in and around there, just a couple trades, but an L on NVIDIA to start with. So let's wait to see what happens now with this name back up to 127. It looks like maybe the longs again now are starting to pop as we stay above 18.8, so that could be something. I still really want to short NVIDIA. It's just at VWAP right now.
ARM just held the 120. This was the level yesterday that it broke out from. Higher low on ARM. So this is, I want to say, it's obviously stronger than AMD. It's doing more or less the same when I look at NVIDIA's chart. But this holding above VWAP is not going to be a good sign. So AMD, I just got back into it. I said, instead of waiting for VWAP, we'll take the consolidation short. I don't need this breaking out. If it gets to 65, I'll look for an over-under type play there, like breaking 65 and then trying to short it on the way back through. So we're in it on the consolidation. AMD still relatively weak, but just noting ARM showing some signs of strength. This was my best stock yesterday to the long side, and it just held the exact level that we had in the long. So if it makes another stair step up, I should be looking for VWAP, if not the 120 level. Affirm's probably going to stop out. I mean, it's still holding strength. I have not reloaded it since it wicked that 29 level. Tried to get some out VWAP, but it's still stair step up. No need to add. If it breaks the top, we jump out of that trade.
Executed.
AMD, I am on the bid in front of 163.90, and then we'll see what happens with Advanced Micro Devices. It's still looking relatively weak. I do like it. Apple nowhere near resistance levels of 193. And Chewy, well, the Chewy party just keeps on going higher, and the dip buys are getting less dippy. I mean, what are you going to do with the stock? Now it's dipping like 20 cents at a time. So there was one chance to get it here at 2020, and that was pretty much it. Firm just came out, so we'll slap the fail on a Firm. I don't want to completely give up the notion of a Firm, which is not on the pink sheets, being a short. But if you make higher lows and blow out the top like this, higher low, higher low, take out the top, I need to either see it curl back under resistance, get to yesterday's close price, curl there. Just do not sit there fighting trend over and over again. I have one long trade in Robinhood. It's the only thing that we're long off of VWAP because it was part of the plan after their buyback was announced. So whether you like the buyback or you don't like the buyback, Robinhood's up 1.6%. It bounced off of its close and held VWAP upward trend. So at least we have this one of the long side. Maybe we should have found a couple of others. I'm looking at you, Chewy.
Yeah, I don't know if we got dumber or smarter here, but we're back into AMD instead of NVIDIA. NVIDIA's just ripping up, and AMD's not doing anything right now. Why is someone phoning me from Saskatchewan?
Yeah, you know that's a spam call.
CORZ.
Pass on that for now.
Or you could
shout out to
MARA.
My Rough Rider fans. Rough Riders. All right. All right. We're still waiting for AMD to do something. Like again, it goes 30 cents in the money, and I'm just like, all right, let's see. I'm waiting for 165 on this one. I think we both talked about those levels. So 165 coming up. We will take more shares if and when it gets into that. So here we go. Back over to Adara.
Keep an eye on Disney here, the Walt Disney Company, DIS. A little bit to the downside, not reacting too much in this, but Variety reporting that ad executive Lisa Valentino is leaving the company. So Disney losing that exec here, DIS, guys.
ONMD.
Yeah.
Ad exec leaving?
I mean,
doesn't
seem like a necessarily good thing. They're already Disney screwed the pooch. Their newest Star Wars, they in one of the trailers they blew like the big spoiler. It's like what are you even doing? How do you give away what big gigantic plot twist in the trailer accidentally? It's like seriously, what are they doing? But anyways, they're not having the best of days. The market is going to the upside. Netflix is actually load 1.5% and at the high of the day. Like, you're wondering what's going on here. Like, so many things are strong that we're not even talking about. Netflix broke it out of those highs at 52 level. It's up at 660, so that's continuing to trend up. As I said, I only have one long and that's going to be Robinhood. We just got back into, I typed ARM, but I meant to type AMD because that's what we're actually in.
FLNC.
We're back into an AMD short right here, consolidating off
SOPH.
164.5. It's one of the weaker names, so I think it's the right one to be in because it's relatively weak, but the rest of these chips are starting to fly. ARM, as I said, bounced off the 120 level. It's trying to hold VWAP. Either it's a 120, which we liked on the daily and yesterday's breakout, or we get hold above VWAP and look for a break from there on ARM. I do prefer ARM long if it's above the 120 level. Underneath there, bit of a different story. Dell super strong as well. ANF, I'm not chasing that thing. I just don't see a place to get into it. Chewy's at least somewhat reasonable, but ANF I can't find my way in.
Yeah, I mean, like names that we never normally trade tend to be harder to trade, in my opinion. Like, we make the move, and then it's like, oh my God, I didn't know ANF.
RYDE.
$5. All right, so we're still in the same move here. Check back in on Amazon again. We had talked about this. It was a great short, but it never really got back into sort of where it started today. It did get back into there, but that was the buy zone. So for right now, Amazon upside with the NASDAQ being up. Problem is that not the problem, but we wrote down here bearish. We don't have any longs today, and that's been the problem. So, and it hasn't been a problem. It's just trying to catch some of these tops has been a problem. Therefore, the long hasn't worked. The short hasn't worked. Look at NVIDIA. It's probably, I'm choosing AMD, but this is getting to a level right now where, again, me going short in there and fumbling around the keys a little bit is going to wind up costing me. But at least we were able to get out when it broke VWAP, because now you're way up. Now, NVIDIA up down 0.3, but getting up to the 200 period, which I like. That's 1136.
XLO.
So that could be something for sure to look at right there for NVIDIA if you like the short. I'm already into AMD, so I don't know if I want to double my pleasure and double my fun here. But at the same time, let's put on a little bit more in case right here, in case we don't, there we go, we'll take some 66s, in case we don't get up to 165, but that in case looks like that's changing as here it comes right now. I guess I could cancel my 169 offer right now on AMD. That doesn't look like that's going to be filling anytime soon. So here we go. We're averaged into this one again off of 165, which is roughly where our out's going to be here for AMD. And there we go. We got the good short on now. 164.80 is where we're short.
Yeah, I covered on the consolidation. I'm looking for like an over-under at VWAP here. Like if it breaks 165, fail above VWAP, and then get back underneath, and then short it on the way back down. This is fine. I took another leg out on Robinhood. What I'm thinking I'm doing to do is if Robinhood breaks
DQ.
21, someone asked what my target was. If it breaks 21, I'm going to add on 21 and then trail it to like 90. So if 21 breaks on Robinhood, it's halfway there. I'm adding to it on the long, and then I'm going to trail at 2090 is the current plan with the market looking relatively strong. So here's the push into VWAP. AMD just tagged VWAP pretty much exactly for what it's worth at 165.10. So I'm getting back in underneath, give it to the quarter, and then see if this continues to be the weakest of the chip names. When I say the weakest, I really just mean the weakest of the ones we're looking at. I haven't even taken a glimpse at Intel today. I haven't taken a glimpse at Micron today. I'm just talking NVIDIA, AMD. I have looked at ARM. I haven't looked at like Qualcomm. I'm going to make the assumption Intel's probably, okay, Intel's down 1.8%. It's right in the middle of the pack. So 1.8% to the downside at VWAP. I just think AMD was much weaker at the open and is trying to hold the trend into the downside here.
Yeah, we're about to get trended upside right here. As there it goes, breaking through 165.20. Oh no, watch out AMD. It's really getting going here to the upside again as NVIDIA as well. 1130. Now it looks like that 1136 short is going to be much better than this NVIDIA short. But right now we are short. Sorry, AMD. It's almost out. Right here, right now, as we're getting pretty juicy to the upside. Like we almost got stopped out up there, and it looks like we're about to get stopped out again. So let's just take some out. We just took some out at 9s. Our stop out is just okay. Here we go. Nice little move down. I'm taking some out on this move back in. I don't really care what happens now. This trade was close to being a disaster. And now just put some money in our pocket. So yeah, we will get out if we can under 165, which we just did. We just emptied the clip a little bit out there as we broke lower. That trade was wrong, man. We were almost out right there at VWAP, as Neil mentioned. So good outs there. Now we get clocked out. But you know what? Honestly,
CLSK.
That dropping back
MARA.
in there and giving us those
SERV.
fills, I don't know what was up with that, but that was good. So some
AWIN.
good fills there, but
SUPV.
not great. We still take an L there because we averaged it in. But right now, AMD upside. Wow. So that name didn't really work
market is relentless.
for me. Straight upside there, and as NVIDIA is trying to do the same thing. Am I going to be crazy enough to short this NVIDIA? I don't know. At the 200 period right now. All right, let's go over to it, Darren. We'll think about it.
Time to take a look at some of the small caps, see how these ones are moving today. We have with the IWM here down about 1%, but curling back to the upside here in a bit of a double bottom. So this 202 area could be one to watch. Small caps to look at today include Brand Engagement Network, BNAI is the ticker for this one, currently in an upward channel here, up about 70%, and closing a $4.95 million private placement and appointing a new co-CEO. We also have ASTS here, AST Space Mobile, announcing a partnership with Verizon, up about 33% right now. And last but not least, this one, much like that ASTS has been running over the last few days, it's going to be LUCI, Innovative Eyewear. Yesterday, a little bit weaker after pricing this $2.5 million offering of 5.2 million shares. Now recovering, continuing its upward trajectory here, up about 80%. And we're brought to you by VinFast. VinFast's VF8 SUV has earned 5 top safety awards from the New Car Assessment Program for Southeast Asia, including Best Overall and Best SUV. Competing against 15 major automakers, VinFast's VF8 was recognized for its outstanding safety features, like forward collision warning and blind spot detection. This accomplishment underscores VinFast's commitment to safety and innovation in electrified mobility. Congrats to VinFast for setting new standards in automotive safety. Stay tuned for more updates.
I mean, AMD, we just got stopped out at 165, and now it's $1 in the money. It's just so crazy how that can happen, but that's we said that, man. The volatility would be there. Oh, like, look at that, just runs it. There's that wick right there. 165.40. Wow.
Do I run with the bulls? Or is that something in the woods?
That was... All right, well...
Muller, love every bit.
We're gonna be back. It's only 10:20. We got lots to go there right now. Oh, man. That was a tough one, but that's okay. We'll get right back into it. We have winners. It's just that one was not right there. Apple, we might want to play some strength in Apple. I still want to get this AMD and this NVIDIA. I am waiting for NVIDIA to pop back into this area again if we can, 11:35 or so to try the short one more time at
AAP.
you know, again, one more time again. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll try that one more time. So hopefully that will come in for us and we'll be able to get that fill, but that really does suck there about AMD. Maybe we'll try it one more time. GME, don't tell me it's at 20, no.
So
No, okay.
I think if AMD gets back there again, the idea was to give it above VWAP and then get on the way back down. And then obviously I think I got in too early, so it broke VWAP. The entry should have been the second time through. It's a 3-minute chart, but if a similar thing happens again, I think I want to be a little bit more patient. Back at VWAP also was affirmed, so that actually headed back down, but it's still upward trending. Holding underneath 29 would be a good sign, and then failing VWAP, maybe we get back into it. Robinhood didn't actually run the 21 level, but as long as it's up here, it's got to 2090.
AAP.
This order is just where I'm crossed to if it breaks 21. So I'm bidding, I think, like 11s or something. That's as far as I'm on the limit order going to take. But you're still trend up on Robinhood. If we break 21, I'm going to add to it and then slap a trail at 2090 and see if it can go higher. Chewy, as I said, is out to lunch at this point. Lucy's making a run higher. These guys did an offering yesterday, and they're up 100%. So logic.
CHWY.
Squeeze is a squeeze. I guess it's going to try for $1 again. But after that
LUCY.
offering pullback, I'm expecting a bit of a dip on Lucy. You had an 85 yesterday. Well, sorry, no, that was like an 85 close, not yesterday. Sorry. Friday's close on a pullback was down around the 85 level. I'm looking at that for the first resistance on Lucy, but I have to pay for locates because I didn't think this would get anywhere near this price.
Okay, so we're short at 1139 basically right now against 1140 for NVIDIA. This is not going to end well. Oh man. All right.
AMD's back at 65.
I know, and that's the thing. I chose NVIDIA here
UPST.
because of the level, but
LUCY.
you know, it's not
ONMD.
moving. This is our average price, 1138 right now. All right. Well, this needs to go down like
CVNA.
$10. We've just been throwing away money, like just. It's because like we're getting stopped out at like $2 or $3 hits like 3 times. So I know Neil's talked about this a couple times. It's like as long as you can get it one time, you could be fine. But that's not like it's just
Well,
no. But I mean just
the example I
there's
give
lots of
is-
examples. Yeah, but go ahead.
The
Dave.
example I give is day 2
LUCY.
DWAC when it went absolutely nuts.
Well, I think that's what we're trying to do right here with that video. The same thing. It's like it's going nuts.
But I had 32 trades on DWAC on that day.
I use that.
27 of them were short, and I was flat on the stock because the last one worked. Now that's reasonable if I had like 4 shorts and then one of them worked. 27 was utter stupidity, and I just happened to get a top on it.
There you go, yeah.
I think you just want you just take your 3 or 4 shots
SOUNW.
at it, get the right level, and you're good. But like I say,
I used that example. You weren't here one day, and I said one time Neil took
LUCY.
20 hits, and you just said 27 or whatever
I
it
had
was.
27 shorts.
Yeah, and I used the example there, and that's when we talked about just planning your trade and understanding the risk and rewards with all of them. Then eventually you'll be fine. I mean, you're not trying to get blown out by being stubborn, which is what I kind of felt I was doing on AMD, averaging in there. And we got out of the way on Uber. Which is what I was going to show you guys. We got out of the way on Uber here as it just
Why didn't
continues to
this
go
fall?
higher. But right now we're $4 or $3 in the
LUCY.
money, depending on when I look on NVIDIA. So let's go over to the desk with Adara and see what she's up to. I think.
Keep an eye on Lucid here, LCID. This article from Autoblog circulating on social media right now amongst traders, basically mentioning that the Hyundai Group luxury brand, which is Genesis, is reportedly in the final stages of a deal with Lucid so that Genesis could buy some electric motors from Lucid. So
CADL.
potential Genesis and Lucid deals circulating here on social media, guys.
Okay, you can't make this up. For a second, I thought you said Lucy, not Lucid. And then you start saying positive news, like just as it wicked the 90 level on Lucy, like that was freaking me out a little bit. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just got
MAIA.
in too short on Lucy off of this little high. If it takes up top, I'm just gonna get out. But I thought you said Lucid
LUCY.
there, Derek. So we said we're gonna take a shot if this got to 85. It's not at the dollar yet, but this is what I meant. Like right in here at this level, looked for the short back underneath, and it took out 91. I had to pay for locates. They were 1/4 of 1 cent per share here at Real Trading. So it's the ability to go short. I always want to have it in the back pocket, but this is screaming to the upside after the offering Huadunk. If it gets to $1, it's not the dollar level that's big. It was
PLCE.
over $1 where the stock failed. So it was getting above $1, I know, because I had the long several times, and then failing at $1.10. So I think the same thing is the way to approach this if it gets to the
LUCY.
dollar level. Kind of give it to
ONMD.
over that level and then work back in. Kind of what I thought about AMD here, but then did not execute well, which was let it get into the price level
AAP.
and then get the short. So it just wicked 165 again. I jumped right back into it. I'm giving it to 165 half. 164 seems like clear support on AMD. So I want to make sure we get some bids out. Robinhood's still not doing a heck of a lot. We're long at 60. It's at 80. It can't seem to make that next push into the even dollar on Robinhood. Thought I'd flip to that chart. It just got to 90s again on Robinhood. I feel like I should be, if I'm gonna add on a 21 break, I should just take it out at 90 and then buy the dip. And if it breaks, fair enough. But Robinhood's still trending into the upside. As I said, Lucy on watch now that it's very close to that dollar level, within 5 cents. But let's go to Adara for the crypto update. Yeah, why not?
SERV.
Interesting story here in the world of crypto and crypto exchanges. Gemini, which was the exchange of the Winklevoss twins, were known for the Facebook situation.
AAP.
Basically, now apparently returning $2.2 billion to users, actually saying as well, if anyone invested in their Earn program, they will actually also get the value of the investment if it increased in the time being. So this is nice. This actually comes after 18 months after pausing withdrawals. So interesting update here for the Gemini exchange of the Winklevoss twins. We have
DKNG.
Bitcoin here on the daily chart continuing to kind of slope down here, initially finding resistance on the daily at that 72,000 level, now continuing to reject off that $69,000, $68,000 level. Currently
AAP.
for Bitcoin, we are below that $68,000 level, around 67.7. Ethereum here holding up decently, just below that 3,800 level here, but down about 2.5% on the day.
LUCY.
Solana also weak here, but Dogecoin
UPWK.
up 1% and a bit here. Cardano up about 2/3%. And Shiba Inu up 4+%. So not a bad look for all these crypto names, guys.
Shiba.
Yeah, Shiba Inu, eh?
Doing its
Executed.
obviously. Tesla, just one note on Tesla. I haven't gotten back into Tesla, but unlike the market, it's actually making lower highs. The only reason I go back to AMD is because it's still holding a lower high. If it breaks 165 half, that's that level of wick above VWAP. Tesla's looking rather similar at the 177 level. I am making the pivot on Robinhood to cover where there's
UPWK.
clear resistance at 90s. Look at this chart in the last 15 minutes. It's like 20 cents at a time. Just bouncing 70 to 90 to 70 to 90. This time I'm getting out. I'm going to take a break long at 21 anyways, so I might as well just go ahead and do that. GME before we move on here. GameStop, lower highs into 22 instead of 21. So yesterday it was $21. That was the big bounce zone after the morning. Look at the morning consolidation on GME, and then it breaks out. Today, morning consolidation at 22, not 21. I'm not saying it's going to break out, but this has been the pattern on GameStop in the days where it doesn't look strong at the open. Is allow it to consolidate,
LUCY.
grab the long off support, and then you
CHWY.
want to make that secondary
AEON.
move into the afternoon. That's what I'm seeing here on GameStop down 6%.
Oh man, I mean it's a lot of fun trading these chip names, but it doesn't mean it's profitable. I mean right there, Nvidia. This trade was actually okay because it's still not okay because it winds up going up through 140. But you see, we were short here at 138.50. We took out a bit at 135, and we put that in the chat. And then it just ripped through again. We shorted 139.50, or even higher than that maybe. Then we got stopped out, and the price we actually got was pretty good on the out. We got 21s. So that's not bad, like 20 cents worth of slippage, I think is pretty good. But here we go, now you're starting to rip up higher, so.
LUCY.
It's just so funny. I remember we were like, oh no, the name we want to play long is gonna be Nvidia on any strength. Oh my God, and all these purples are shorts. All right, well, not good, so that's not been good. That sucks, man. To throw that away, that's okay. So we wind up losing more there on Nvidia than we actually wound up losing on AMD. This is Amazon on AMD. I don't want to short Amazon. Again, I guess we've just been wrong on that one because it's up 0.8% now when the market's only up down 0.4. I thought it would be relatively weak. Yeah, Meta, I've seen people talk about it. Ethereum, again, 67.6. Yeah, you are starting to go to the downside. I did not pay for shorts today in ETHE, so maybe I should do that. I was just sort of like, it's not expensive at all, but I don't really want to put my attention here if not much is happening. So I'm still like ears to the ground trying to see if Ethereum is going to move at some point. But for right now, nice upside move. You're basically at highs despite ETH itself only being at 3,800. So again, just the premium's built in to the Ethereum trust. So
yeah, watch Coinbase rejected 240 again.
Coinbase rejected, okay.
So you've just made another, and again, patience would have been a little bit better with this. I might have 20 cents better of a price on AMD. If we wait for this move into that lower high, 165.5. But we're in it. If it breaks the top, we get out of it. Lucy just broke a buck. If it fails that previous top, just very quickly on AMD, if this breaks at 165.5, you've got a key level of like 168. So this is like sit it out for a while on AMD if we go higher. Lucy, the last time it was up here over $1, it rejected at exactly 114. So if it fails 115 or does some kind of a halt and then fail back underneath, it actually has not halted today, which is weird. And I think it can be one last shot. It's going into a halt band at 114, so it could halt 114. I'm not taking this halt to the upside on Lucy. When it halted at 99 cents, it was a fail and then opened back up at 85. So I have a bit of a plan of action if it opens down after a potential. There it goes.
CHWY.
To the upside on Lucy. The current tap is flat at $1.15. If it opens
LUCY.
down, I'd look at the $1 level. But AMD is the thing that we got to be concerned with as the market continues to blast higher. It's now back underneath VWAP. This one at least looks relatively weak. But we gave back what we made short in the first short
AAP.
on the next two. This is now number 4 on AMD. And still nothing for Robinhood breaking out. Like it's holding higher lows, but it's not breaking out that top. If we do get a shot at Chewy, as I
SERV.
said, I think it's going to be a vastly different trade than I was anticipating, or just probably not going to happen at all. It's now up
LUCY.
27%. I think we just stick a fork in it. We missed Chewy, slap a fail on it. There are no dips to be had. It's so far away from VWAP. It's like $1.30 away, and just continuing to fly
NNE.
higher.
Okay, yeah, Chewy was a great trade.
Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't have it.
No, I just mean it was a great trade. Like, I didn't have it
CHWY.
either. But was a great name to trade today, potentially. All right,
Lucy
we just
halted.
got some bids
LUCY will
there
resume at 10
on-
hours 40 minutes and 11
on
seconds.
AMD, but I just saw someone say like AMD is kind of a waste of everyone's time, and yeah, it seems like it's not moving around that much right now, but that's okay. Nvidia is the much better long. I mean, Nvidia long has been so hot fire. It's
GPS.
crazy how good that's been off that 1125 area, and we even talked about that earlier on. Like, wait for it to base. Remember, like.
PLCE.
Frustrating.
UPST.
We had talked over and over about what the
TEAM.
plan of action was here. We even used examples, 3 or 4 examples from the past couple days on when to go long Nvidia. Wait for it to base out and give yourself some confidence on some of those levels. So you could have had, instead of me going short 11.25, we could have just gone long, giving it that $5 bottom. But again, and I was saying this actually to Sharif back there, is like, I'm still trading, and I said this to him, I'm still trading Nvidia like it's like an $800-900 name. It's not moving like that. It's way, way higher, way more expensive. And like, now you're having to put in your stops. It's now 6 digits. Like, it's a completely different game. And I'm not using market orders because when it opens up, I fear that it opens up too big. Like, that's why we only got a 20-cent slippage last time, which I was pretty happy with. But again, basing out on Nvidia is what we should have waited for. And even now, I don't think it's a short at all. So it might be even basing out right here at 11.43, 11.44. So yeah, we're short AMD, end of story, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think Nvidia, Neil just keeps on getting bought up, and unfortunately, I know you're short AMD now, and we're both short AMD. We've been short for a while. I think the answer is exactly what Carpe Diem just said there. Just go long Nvidia and forget about it, because it's making us look silly here going short everything, I feel like.
Yeah, I missed I think I missed the shot on Nvidia, but at the same time,
SOXL.
I liked ARM, and I keep typing AMD when I mean to go into ARM. I did miss the shot of the 120 on ARM, but there wasn't much of a consolidation off of VWAP. There was like a dip, under, and then just starts shooting into the upside. So if we continue to go higher, I mean, the NASDAQ's not green yet. ARM's down 2%. It's above 120, which reason why I keep saying 120. You guys can see on the daily chart, big breakdown level, big breakout yesterday. I think it's a bullish stock above. So we're going to try to buy some dips there. You're going to be open in about 2 minutes on that Lucy stock. And it's still indicating a flat open
NVDA.
on Lucy. Robinhood, as I said, I adjusted my plan, which is to just get out at this high. And then if it breaks 21, I'll just make a separate trade long 21. And now I'm going to bid the next
LUCY
available
may resume
bid,
in less than a
at
minute.
70. But the mistake today was only having one long position, and that being Robinhood. Just didn't find myself into anything else, but it happens. Just got to move on to the next. As I said, Lucy open up in a couple of minutes. We might be trading that one. As long
FSLR.
as it holds the dollar level, I think it can be a bit bullish. AMD still hanging on to the short, and I wanted to get back over to Tesla. It's still relatively weak compared to the overall market. This is one we're up on because we just took our shot, but even this, it's like it worked, but it's not a great read because I thought this was going to hold the previous close, and it just chewed right through it to the downside. So Tesla, still a weak name, read into a market which is trying to break back out. Lower highs on Tesla. I think it's a short up here if we can get above VWAP, but now it can't even do that.
All right. I'm just sitting here. 565. Okay. I mean, we do have a new position here. Oh, it's right here. It's TQs. Oh, I'm gonna put a bid on Nvidia. Just take some out now. I mean, finally, it's starting to go to the downside.
I mean AMD.
LUCY.
AMD, sorry, yeah.
No, I know.
I'm looking at Nvidia and I'm like, okay, Nvidia's finally going through 942 right now, so or 1142. So see, I even said 942, 1142 back to the
FSLR.
downside right now. So that is cashing out. But of course, if you look at AMD, Neil, it's not even going down. So I don't even know what to do.
INSM.
We just took a bid there at 80s or whatever that was, 89 there on AMD. So as Nvidia is falling, AMD is not. So yeah, that's nice. All right, take another bid out here on TQQ and see if we can get even lower on that one. Wow, I guess I just got to get in the other names here as we go. But there we go, nice little downside move now for AMD and the TQs. So good. Oh, what the? Oh no, we covered everything. Oh, come on, TQQ. We covered it all. Now we got to get out of this and get another position. So far so good there. Nice short on the market. Decent short here on AMD. Wishing it would fall a little bit further. What's up, Randy?
FSLR.
Gonna halt again.
Back over to
Thank you,
Adara.
Randy.
Sector watch.
Not really much positivity to speak of on this sector board today. It is worth noting Apple, one of the few standouts here in this electronic technology sector. We have the information with this report providing a few more details on that Apple chips and data center or AC/DC project. So just for AAPL as we head into that developers conference coming on June 10th. Amazon also fairly positive in retail trade, but the general sector is pretty weak. We also have some bright spots in the technology services sector. Specifically, keep an eye here on CRM. They're reporting tonight, so that could be one to watch out for. Health technology, a little bit more mixed here. Finance right across the board. Producer manufacturing, consumer services, energy minerals weak with the exception of MRO and that ConocoPhillips deal. Everything else here pretty much decisively to the downside. We also have process industries, utilities, consumer non-durables, but it is worth talking about health services here. This one pretty notably weak. We do have UNH to the downside after saying at a Bernstein conference, apparently flagging some concerns with Medicaid and the risk with Medicaid. So UNH to the downside and Agilent A also trading lower, and they report tonight, guys.
Yeah, Moderna got moked again here. It's down another 7%, just so everybody knows. It's not just that in healthcare. Lucy did halt and reopened, got to 135. It just resisted pull back into the previous
Executed.
113. If it holds on to 105, I'll look for a bounce long, but you don't want to get trapped in halts in that stock. So if it holds on to this halt bottom, which it doesn't look like it's going to halt 05, cancel. So I was going to take it if it held 105, like quick bounce off that level, try to get like 6s or 7s, and then put a stop underneath, but it's going to go into a down halt, so no trade for me there. AMD's finally starting to pull back in. I'm bidding 164 for the next leg out. And Robinhood, we are looking to catch a bid off of VWAP. As I said, I took it out at 2090. We're looking for a dip back into VWAP to go into the long. GameStop, we had also mentioned holding higher lows, and I wanted to go long.
LUCY will resume at 10 hours 48 minutes and 1 second.
Not really doing much. So let's step away from that for a hot minute. But finally, AMD starting to work back into the downside. It's just been relatively weak, down that 4%, resisting VWAP. I think we could see low of the day if you get some kind of a significant turn in this market, which is trending up. There's no question
ALAR.
about it. Apple, still not at the 193.
GCT.
It's triple top. You had one shot to get in a dip at VWAP, and that wasn't even that realistic. So I'm not touching it in the middle of the range. It's going to be either we get a dip into VWAP or we wait for $193 up here. That was just at the open yesterday where Apple happened to turn. So looking for that level for a short on Apple and nothing in between.
Yeah, I think it's about time you get a little more. We get a little bit more specific with some of the prices. So I like that one for sure because it's 1044 right now. So we can pick and choose what we want. We don't have to like be jumping around and trying to find the, the ultimate trade. You can take your time, look for something, and be able to focus on that. So we just got some out on AMD there at 66s or whatever at that 50-period moving average. So we're going to wait there again. We did get some more out on the TQs. We shorted. We got out of them all there. So that was just a short at 38 and a cover at 28. So, good cover it turns out to be, but again, it was a keystroke error, so we had to get back in. So now we have a little bit less price. But 65.25, waiting for that to come through. And look at AMD. Come on, mamma mia. Nvidia not doing anything, and if anything, trying to go lower right now. And AMD just pops right back up, and it's like, okay, well now you're in a losing trade all of a sudden. Like what? We were just covering this thing down here in the 60s, and then this is happening now to us. So yeah, I feel like we're just a little bit off on the prices and what we're looking for here today. So that kind of sucks, but that's okay. We'll just regroup it all, and that's why we went back over it, in all honesty. That's why we went right over to the futures. The futures have been my #1 trade for a while now, and so we're going to do that. Nice trade off of 40. Let's see if we get a downside push now in the futures. And here goes AMD. Again, I don't know. Like, you do not want to stay in the way of this when it starts to go. So, and here it goes. That out is, I guess, 50s. It's right at 50 right now. So I guess if you want to hold it and dance, you can, but this is a little dangerous right now. 165.12 is where we're short.
I'm out if that thing breaks.
Yeah, that's...
Actually, the only question I'm asking myself is, why not take a breakout long, scalp to 166.5 on AMD if it takes out this level? Like, it just wicked it again, so either it's going to, this short here is going to work, or if the market continues higher and we see strength in the chips, this could just be a break right back into 166.5.
There it goes. Wow.
I was just about to decide whether I want it. You can still...
I can't believe we covered some down there.
Oh, no. That was priced incorrectly.
You see how dangerous it is? Like, this is just how fast it's moving around. It's like
you get back above 50.
Yeah, you put above your, would you flip long? Nothing
no,
yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's still underneath, it wicked right back underneath the 50
No, I'm
level.
watching it. I'm in this name.
By the way, Lucy, someone asked me if I'm taking it short at the open. No, that's not the plan. I don't have any orders out on Lucy. I'm going to let it play itself out after it reopens and just try to find a level. It's now tapping $1. If we get back above 165.5, that high where I got stopped, I think it's 63 is the actual top. If it makes a fresh high on AMD, I think it can be a scalp breakout.
Yeah, I think AMD is very, very strong. Needless to say, we just got some more fills on that break back down below. We talked about that, but it's right at that
LUCY
level right
may
now.
resume in less than a minute.
At key levels, and then been upset that we did exactly do that.
ASTS.
So I think 166. We can just wait a little bit for this. Obviously, we're gonna have to pack our patience here. The market looks like it's trying to get back up, and it's just so frustrating because we talked about wanting this market down at 18.8, and as long as we're above that, then it's probably going to be a long and a short below. We tried to make it as simple as possible, but we got carried away looking at just how volatile some of these names have been here today. So that's been something. And again, what's just been so strong for me? I'm going to hit bang, even though we're in a losing AMD trade now. We got back into TQs. We're short this name. It's been printing for us. It's been a good one, and at least we're trading the futures a little bit better than these other names. We're only short AMD here at 20s, so it's not like, or 15s. It's not the end of the world, and we could even average into it. But again, definitely a slippery slope here, as we'll put some bids again down near 165 just to take some profit if it comes back in again. But at the end of the day, this name needs to get in. And if it doesn't come back to 163, what is this level? That's 164. Then yeah, this is going to be a losing trade because I'm going to get stopped.
ACHC.
So let's see if this comes back in right now. The TQ's motoring to the downside. Chewy. Did you pay? I'm assuming you have to pay for shorts.
You know what? I didn't even check because I wasn't thinking short on Chewy. You're probably right. We probably have to pay.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. I wasn't planning on shorting it, but it's probably worth it just to have them. I'm sure they're relatively
That's what
cheap.
I was looking at.
Lucy opened back up here and held exactly $1 to the penny. If that's going to be the level, if it bounces down there again, I'm going to try like ones or twos with a stop right underneath the buck, if it even wants to give it to me. But I don't want to chase this above. Like, I'd rather be risking a tight stop on Lucy if we can get it. AMD, if it breaks, I'm going to take a scalp breakout. I still think this resistance here, 166.5, pretty relevant. But if we make a fresh high on AMD, I'm going long the breakout and looking to scalp it out. Robinhood, the only long that I've had today. I joke about it because you could have bought Chewy anywhere. You could have bought ANF anywhere and it would have been good. But 21 getting pretty close. I had canceled my order to dip buy it. It's going right back in. 21 breaks on Robinhood, and I'm just getting my order back in to go long, as I had canceled it previously to jump out of that trade. So let's see what else we got going on. I see people saying NVIDIA short. I'm thinking like, if we continue higher and the NASDAQ goes green, where can I find a long in one of these? ARM, I liked at 120. It's nowhere near that price. Let's go to the desk. We've got Money Talks with Adara. Only 10 minutes to go. Sheesh.
Nice look for the DXY here on the daily chart, building off that nice little candle of support we got yesterday. Pretty bullish look right now. We are hurtling towards that 105 area for the
CHWY.
DXY. So nice look here, just coming into that previous area of support and resistance. We've got the Richmond Manufacturing Index coming in for May. This came in a little bit hotter than expected here, 0 versus -6 estimated and -7 prior. But some more numbers to keep an eye out for. We do get, or some more economic data pieces. We get Fed's Williams speaking at 1:45. We'll get Fed's Bostic speaking after market close at 7 p.m. Also at 2 p.m. here, we're going to be getting the Fed's beige book, so certainly something to keep an eye on here as
ASTS.
well. And some more, of course, we do get that GDP revision. Last GDP number we got was a lot lower than expected, so this will certainly be one to keep an eye out for, especially with the PCE coming out on Friday. Also, one interesting thing to note here as well, we are getting a new Fed member, so it's just been announced here that Fed's master will be retiring in June and to be replaced by Goldman Sachs executive here, Beth Hammock. So this will be the new
CHWY.
Cleveland Fed president, effective August 21st. In the interim, there will be the Cleveland vice president taking over. So interesting look, new Fed here, Beth Hammock, guys.
Wow. You're allowed to be part of the Fed if you're under like 75 years old. That's great. 52 years old. Congratulations.
Will she be viewed?
Again, Goldman Sachs. I mean, come on. Bernanke, all these guys just keep on being Goldman
It's like
Sachs.
the minor leagues for the well, it's not even. It's not. That's not even the way to think about it. It's not the minor leagues.
No, the major
for the
leagues
Fed.
is Nvidia here.
But at the end of the day,
It's ripping.
Loretta Mester sometimes moves the markets. But I'm curious whether or not we'll see what happens when it comes to voting members. It's not that non-voting members don't matter, but when you're paying attention to who's talking and what their views are, it matters a heck of a lot more in the cycle if they are a voting member right off the bat. Probably not going to be. And AMD just broke out that local high. You can scalp some at 166 if it even gets there, and 166.5 is the top of the range. I think if we get there, I'm probably looking shorts again. Still not there on Hood.
GCT.
Lucy still holding the dollar. I thought we'd get a bid off of 1 even on Lucy. I can tell you that has not
SOXL.
happened a second time through.
NVDA.
Just made that dip pretty much
CAVA.
exactly the same time we're over on AMD getting that fill. Lucy dipped into 102, and there's going to halt to the upside. So AMD better work because
AMD's working.
this is annoying. No, like that, you could have been long twos with a 99 stop, and Lucy just went to 118. So AMD better go. We picked the wheel we picked. I said I was taking that break. When it came in is when Lucy dipped. You can only be
ALAR.
on one level 2 at a time when you're looking to get orders. And I wanted to make sure I got my stop underneath the 50 on Advanced Micro Devices here. Because to me, this is a scalp trade. It's taking it station to station, 66.
All right, just real quick, we did short the market here again as it does pop up a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit out at 36 if we can. There it goes. We do get that in. So we will short the TQs again.
Be a savvy saver with our £250 excess refund reward.
Compare!
That's what's supposed to happen, man. Trade strong stocks to the long side. Don't do as I do, averaging it in.
NVIDIA's at 50 and won't break.
I know. Well,
Like-
NVIDIA's at 1146 right now. Did it get up to 50 there?
49.
Yeah, so wow. Yeah. I mean, they are trading hand in hand here, but I mean, we sat there and watched one of them go down and the other one going up. So I don't really know what to think right now, but there's AMD right back into
CAVA.
that level of the breakout. So we are short right now. Let's just put some bids. I don't even have any bids out, to be honest with you. At these levels, we have them a little bit lower. So right there, nice fade back in for AMD, but then bought the dip again. So yeah, it looks like we want to keep going higher. Obviously, it's going to break 166 if and when NVIDIA goes boom. So we'll have to wait for that. But what is making me money right now? Why the heck do I trade anything but this, guys? The futures, again, the TQs, we're here right now. It's a good trade. The disaster that strikes in the chip names for me is definitely making me feel a little bit better here trading the futures as we shorted that top again and it's starting to pull back. So like levels are just working better on the market right now than on individual stocks for me. So good thing to note anyways moving forward, but might be a little too late. We've already sort of made our bed here with AMD being short right now at 165.50, waiting for that move higher. So here it comes. Let's just take some out if we can. Bring it back in. Let's see if we can break 50 and then get some out as we're both just sort of, I don't know, figuring this out with AMD, it seems like.
Just one.
Like we could have just got out there again.
5 minutes to go here. I forgot about FFIE. We had
CAVA.
that tight stop at the open,
the Faraday
and I
Futures,
didn't take it the second time. We had 70, we broke that 77 level. The second it got back above it, we just punched right out. Like 2-cent hit, 2.5-cent hit. A little slippage is going to happen on that stock, 0.5 cent. But it just failed back under fresh lows and is trending back into the downside. So this is Faraday with earnings not good overnight, all that stuff. Shorting it to VWAP in here. 77, the same level that we liked early in the morning. I'm just going to fade back into it. So if it gets back above 70, I'm going to take something in the 74 range in here, try to get a fill. It's short sell restricted, so you do have to sit on the offer. Like, I didn't get this fill on the way down. I had to take this when it came back through. So I'm going to need it to pop up and give me a chance to get in.
AGBA.
For those that are watching Lucy, it's
VCSA.
114. The long at 1 was a good one. And ARM. So I said I've had one long trade today. Well, just got into AMD. Hood was the only one we were really long for most of the morning. ARM, a nice bounce off 120. It just held VWAP as well. If it can hold on to 121, I'll probably take a shot.
AGBA.
Long. Shot in the arm. Long off 121. Yeah, you know, the puns have been few and far between here today. Top VoIP saying ASTS is up 43%. I'm going to imagine there are a few small caps that I didn't look at while we were staring at AMD all morning. This one breaking high. Look at this. I mean, it's just.
That makes sense.
It's almost too linear at this particular
They changed
point.
the settings.
On ASTS. You had one big move early. It's a 27% short float with 125 million float. It's done about a third of that. I don't love chasing these when they go like linear kind of movement like this. Like, you want something really crazy to the upside and get a pullback or find a consolidation level. This one needs to settle down a bit. So I did get one fill on AMD, but it's starting to pull right back in. So this could fail the breakout on advanced micro devices. If I get a short position, though, it should be FFIE next. That's at least the plan, as it continues to fall.
Yeah, AMD, like, so crazy. If I just put the same amount of risk in the futures as I'm doing in AMD, man, we'd be having infinitely better day. Because look at the futures falling down, falling down, snowflakes, or some sort of a song that all the kids sing. But here we go, nice little move to the downside. It's like at every Christmas concert that I've been to ever. Snowflakes, I'll find it out. It's really, all right, good memories, I mean, great memories. All right, here goes, people would probably know it. If you might hear it eventually. All right, so AMD now falling back in just a little bit. And remember, this is where we're short, so we're not like celebrating this, but we did take some out again because, hey, less of a hit is better than grande hit. So right there, we will do that. This is not a Starbucks order. We don't need a venti rate up in here. We just need to get out if this does come back in. So we did do that. We did cover some down there for flattish. Now we're a little bit better in the money here as the TQQs keep going. But the one thing that everybody wants, that I can't believe we left for this long, was what the heck is for lunch?
Yes.
All right, so today is basically a big winner.
CHWY.
In my opinion, individually wrapped assorted sandwiches. Let's go. I mean, finally, that's a diamond hander there. You grab one of those and hold on to it. Sandwiches assorted with creamy potato salad as the side. Potato salads can be hit or miss, but at the end of the day, that's a good lunch. Sandwiches for all, and to all, a good night.
I'm not complaining about that at all.
No, we've been getting a heck of a lot of tuna, I noticed, on the salad, so that's been good lately. And we'll see what's on there today. I'm hoping for egg salad.
As long as the salad doesn't have spaghetti on top of it.
Oh, God. I had an upset stomach all day. I think that might have been why.
I told you I wasn't eating that spaghetti. And then on the afternoon show, I was still hungry, so I had to, and thank you to Yanni for going and grabbing me a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
I brought some actual, like, protein, healthy bars just in case I get peckish again. DJK just said Affirm is a dangerous short at these levels.
Executed.
I don't disagree. I'm sitting this one out. I was short all morning. We got one good look at 28.5. It just needs to get back. If it gets back to like 29.5, that's where you close. That's previous resistance. Just let it get there, man. In a strong market, on a stock which made a wick bottom, if you're going to short into it, at least wait for the level that you like. And so that's probably another 30 cents to the upside. Oh, here comes Lucy at that dollar again. It's still at 10:59, so we're going to get out of here. We're back at 2 o'clock, but Lucy's trying to bounce off that $1 level a second time here, and I didn't have a stop order to protect me, and I'm never trading this stock again or anything like it without a stop order before I get into position. We talked about this once before, where I forget which one it was. It was FFIE. I was like making money on it all day long, and then there was like one trade that I took where I didn't have my stop order in. I got into position first,
ASTS.
and then threw the stop. By then, big time 10% move, and everything else was tight stops for myself, like 1 or 2%, and I lost everything in one shot. It was like 8 winning trades, all gone in one shot. So stop order is always first. Let's get on to it. It is Sharif back at the helm with Adara for Learn to Trade. We'll be back at 2, as everybody's in the baby blue today, I think.
Oh, yeah, they got a good baby blue show over there. Ready?
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That
DOGZ.
Midday Show. That is your girl Adara.
ACHC.
And I am Sharif, and we already have Big Kyle Burdett hanging out with us in the chat, as well as one of the OGs there, Darwin. What's up, my man? Callum Mitchell Miller making his presence felt, as well as Chucky. What's going on, Chucky? How are you? We'll wait for some other people to come in from the other stream. We already have 4 lats.
CHWY. IRA halted. IRAAU will resume at 11 hours 5 minutes and 20 seconds. CAVA. NNE. FLNC. ASTS. CAVA. NNE. ASTS. NNE. NNE. CAVA. GPS. IRAAU may resume in less than a minute.
RGF.
Executed.
ENSC.
BNAI. HIMS. BNAI. UBXG halted. UBXG will resume at 11 hours 14 minutes and 45 seconds. INSM. INSM.
DTST. MRT.
UPST. INSM. VSTM.
PMEC.
VSTM. UBXG may resume in less than a minute.
KA.
INSM. 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 INSM.
Executed.
MMAT. BNAI.
LEXX.
MMAT.
Okay, you're deep in the jungle, hanging with a friendly jaguar. Or how about
CVNA. ASTS. EH.
CRVS.
AWIN. INSM. INSM. AI. BHVN.
executed?
CAVA. ACHC. SMR. DOGZ. SMR. UPST. CAVA. GCT. ASTS. ACHC.
Everybody talks about the S&P 500. Here are 5 facts every investor should know. 1. S&P is a merger of 2 companies, Standard and Poor. While Standard isn't a family name, Poor is, although he was well off. 2. The S&P 500 comprises 500 of the largest
ASTS. SMR. LUCY.
BZUN.
ASTS. GCT. ASTS. ASTS. VCSA. RZLT. INSM.
SNES.
Executed.
Lucy halted. LUCY will resume at 11 hours 40 minutes and 28 seconds.
AIRE.
RDDT. AI. ASTS. LUCY may resume
Executed.
in less than a minute.
AIRJW.
UPST